Hello, my name is Greg, and today's presentation would be on Patrick Nagel. Many things are a reflection of their own time. Art is one of them. Many things can be drawn to represent certain points of time. This can be in terms of popular culture, music, fashion, and of course, art. An example of this being the 70s. The 70s had performance and conceptual art, which is influenced by the hippie movement. And this was coming off after the World War II. So maybe asking, what is this about? And how does this connect? What about the 80s, a decade characterized by big hair, bright colors, and different music? We have three styles that characterize the 80s. We have Memphis, which characterized by shapes, lines, dots, and colors. Memphis was prevalent in furniture, clothing, MTV, and shows like Saved by the Bell. Next one we have is Neo-Expressionism. Neo-Expressionism is characterized by humans and abstraction put together with looks of color and violence using vivid colors, as portrayed in this picture here that I'm showing. But there's still one more I have not yet discussed. This being that from Patrick Nagel. The Nagel woman. This is a woman with black hair and bright white porcelain-looking skin, and tends to have red lipstick, colored lipstick. And is encased in a minimal style. Encased in a minimal style. The Nagel woman embodies sophistication and self-confidence. Alright, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about Patrick Nagel. Patrick Nagel was born November 25th, 1945, and sadly died November 4th, 1984. He had a short-lived, popular career, as he had died at a young age after a charity event, which he died 15 minutes afterwards. Patrick Nagel's work is a mix between Art Deco and pop art. Art Deco is art in which includes strong colors and detailed work, and is usually referred to with luxury and glamour, and tends to support heavy symmetry and geometry. And then he's also characterized as pop art. He is also characterized as pop art as his work is defined for a mass audience and tends to be. His work also includes as pop art, as it is made for the audience as all, and does borderline between glamorous and sexy, and is mass produced. So that is Patrick Nagel's stuff. Okay, so Patrick Nagel takes pictures of his models, Patrick Nagel takes pictures of his models, to which he uses to create drawings, to capture the moment, as well as capture dimension. Then he uses that as a guideline and stencil, to which he paints on a canvas with acrylic, to which he then takes a stencil, and works on a stretched canvas and paints with acrylic. Patrick Nagel works through simplification as he minimizes detail to provide a more cleaner and bolder look. Patrick Nagel's work can be seen in many things. His break came from when he did pictures for Playboy. From 1975 to 1984, Patrick Nagel had approximately created 285 individual works for Playboy magazine. His work allowed him to gain more recognition and allowed him to also catch the attention of his publisher, which allowed him to print his artwork on a larger scale and also more widespread. Patrick Nagel has also worked for Architectural Digest and also David Copperfield. He painted visuals for David Copperfield Magic Show and used them all as elegance. One of Patrick Nagel's most recognizable pieces was that of the Rio album cover for Duran Duran. Being that this cover, Patrick Nagel's work is an icon of the 80s. It embodies the 80s. It embodies its emotional state of the era, while also following its materialistic aspiration. Patrick Nagel's work embodies many things that were prevalent in the era, like ritz, glamour, and bold colors. It was similar to that of stuff like embodied the time, which is prevalent also in the era, which shows like Dynasty were widely popular, which polarized the high-end glamour and which popularized glamour and ritz. Patrick Nagel's work has inspired many others. Patrick Nagel is still prevalent today, as, believe it or not, as times change and trends move forward, many do too. And so then hence Patrick Nagel fled from the public interest, but not completely. Patrick Nagel was still pretty much prevalent today, as you may have seen him before in your local nail or hair salon. Yes, Patrick Nagel was still here, but not in his form, more in a bootleg copy of it. But why? Well, this may be due just because of the status in which Patrick Nagel presented itself. It presented itself in high-end glamour and ritz. It presented itself in a model of beauty. Patrick Nagel presented itself in many things. It was bold. It was self-confident. It was itself. But no, there was other instances in which they were copied, like the album cover for Faces by Clio Front. It embodies similar to Patrick Nagel, a dark-haired woman with porcelain skin, a red lip, and interesting line work. All surrounded by geometric shapes, all surrounded by geometric pastel-colored line work. And also relevant today is a show similar to that of Archie, this being of Moonbeam City. It is a cop series show with the animation style of Patrick Nagel. Sadly though, the show did end its first season. What we see now as cheesy and oversaturated was not. To its time, it was glamour. It was boldness. It was confidence. It embodied ritz and glamour. The works, though many embody sexualization or strong, these works really well. Patrick Nagel's work was one of those to that which defined the decade. 80s. For its color, its glamour, its luxurious finish,